All right, we're ready for episode 18 of Review, the series where I go through all my old reviews and review them. Come on, it's brilliant. Although I know Red Letter Media did it first, but I mean that's literally all it's a review. I make reviews and okay, whatever. Tim Socks and Hems on the desk because can't have more different than that. Last time we ended on the Odyssey EL8C. Now we're on to the Fostex HP-V1. Which is a terrible fucking name, and Japanese Fostex needs to like understand what terrible is. So this was a tube amp in a metal box, and it was rather large. It was like this, but bigger. And it got very hot, and it did absolutely wonderful things, but it was too expensive. It was like $500, $450, some extremely high amount of money that was not required for port. Like like I liked it and I gave it respect, but it was like hard to get and didn't matter because you couldn't get it. So there are other, like the Duke. I will link in the description, because the description of the video, by the way, I'll list every product I talk about if you want to just look to see what I do. But I will link to the one that I think is probably the best replacement. The Little Bear balance is like perfect. Under 150, tube, sounds tubey, American made tubes. I'm all for it. The FX Audio DAC X6. The return of cheap and decent. I didn't say cheap and good. All right, well, what the hell is that? Is that the one that I recommended everyone buy? Was that an SMSL or was that? I think that was an SMSL, the one that everyone on the fucking earth had. I don't remember. I don't remember what this thing had. It's a small DAC X6. This may have been the one that just has fiber optic and coaxial digital and power on the back, and then headphone out in the front. This may, yeah, I don't even think that had a an analog input. So, do those still exist? Just like a DAC amp combo. I mean, there's a ton of DAC amp combos. Yeah, I guess they do, and there's a ton of them. I'll link one underneath it. See how it's in the future. Link one underneath it. The Emotiva's best Fostex, not Fostex. So the Emotiva Teak wood are basically like a Fostex build, wood backs, kind of like a Fostex build, but not made by Fostex, and fucking amazing. And it's one of those headphones there's like 4 or 5 that are elusive to me. I want it. I want it on my wall. I want to point it and say that one. Buy that one, everybody. But there's so few in stock. A, it's another $400 or $500 I don't need to spend on headphones. B, it's never in stock. So if I pull it out for like a headphone amplifier test or a DAC test or fucking portable test and say, these are the Emotives and I love them, the link in the description will go to nothing. Only recently, like in the last 2 months, did these pop back up somewhere, I think drop. And I was like, oh my God, am I going to buy it? Am I going to buy it? And it was gone. And I'm like, I didn't buy it. And now you can't buy them again. So if you can find a used set of Emotives or you can find them new, fucking by all means buy them. Because they're half the cost of like anything in the high-end Fostex range, and they sound pretty much on par with some of those things. They don't have the same signatures as like the 909s, but the sound quality itself is fucking spectacular. Yamaha HS8s. So I actually still own these. I reviewed them 3 years ago, and they've not come out of the box since I finished reviewing them. And I kept them because they were pure white, the white driver and the white. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to use these for something, or give them to the store across the street when I was back living in the apartment, and let him use that instead of his old Zenith setup. But you know what? And I just never did anything with them. The big ones, the big 8s, I just never did anything with them. The thing is, I have the Yamaha HS8s, and I have the Atom T8Vs, and now. Well, actually, that's the only 2 8s I have. That's the only 2 8s I have. Because I borrowed the Kali Ion 8s, which are better than all of them. So, there you go. So, would I still recommend Yamaha HS8s? Sure. They're good. They're good, but for the price, oh, are they 600? You spend a little bit more and you get the Kalis and you get fucking blown away. You get true monitoring capabilities. Woo-wee. Woo-wee. That is a Blackmagic device that was sold by Woo. It was a little pricey. It was full of transformers. There was a whole controversy surrounding it that it was going to explode your electrostats, which I don't have any on my desk. I was like, oh my God, you can't. Oh my God, it's going to be terrible. Oh my God. But it converted a speaker amp into electrostats. And I don't have it anymore. I bought it from Woo for like 400 instead of 500. And then I sold it because IFI sent me their IESL, which was like a $1,300 unit. And I bought that for 900. And I still have that to this day because that at least had options and functions. This is basically a switch and a thing. And it was like, all right. But the other one just did more for me. So I kept that one and sold that one. Questyle. We're back to Questyle. Happy Memorial Day. I released on Memorial Day 3 years ago. The Questyle CMA800P. Again, I didn't start a timer, so I'm going to be... Fuck, I just look at the clock. I wish Questyle, just please either come back or go away. Their portables are still... did I sell their portable? That's so good. They made such good things, and now I'm touching on other things that are just basically as good. They always felt like a quality high-end piece of gear, but not at like insane prices. Like $1,100 for a DAC amp combo. In that sort of like build quality and sound quality of the day was fucking absolutely acceptable. Like I just want to, it was endgame. It was one-stop endgame. And now I don't know what they sell anymore. So do I recommend Questyle? Yes. Do they sell a CMA800P? I have no idea. Oh shit. The first crown amp. So I bought that XLS 1502 to power the Ultimax sub I built. Because I was looking for like a used crown amp on eBay. I used to just like get one of these 3-year-old ones, and I'm like, but I can't review a 3-year-old amp that's out of production. I could review a new amp and then use it, so it costs me a bit more, but it might make up if someone watches it and joins my Patreon. I could do the balance. So I bought the 1502, and that cost me $1,100 because I bought the 2502s from my fucking home theater after that. Because I bought it just to power a sub, not thinking it would sound any good on like speakers. Because it's just a power amp. It's a Class D. It's got internal, crossover, digital crossover, DSP. It'll just be crap, and it's not. To this moment, the 1502, that 1502, is powering the 2 Infinity subs in my basement, all my front channels. And then my left and right heresies are... Well, the things aren't in bridge mono, they're in stereo, powering the 12-inch and horn separately. So I love crown amplifiers, and I kind of need another one, just like to sit on the side so I can pull it out to review things with it. Like I've got this thing here, the VMV A-1, which is a 10 watt per channel Class A, and it's fucking great, and it powers these mic RB42s to amazing. And headphones, all these headphones. Tim Socks, by the way. In case the Tim Sock review is out, probably, or isn't. The little addition, Tim Socks on the VMV A-1 is perfect. Like it is just enough amount of oof. It might even beat what I had downstairs with the tubes. So do I recommend crown amps? Fucking yes, I do. Fucking hey, bud. RBH R5BiR. It's a mouthful, Jesus Christ. Caution, may contain magic. So RBH made headphones, and then they made this pair of speakers, and I've never had another RBH product. And it makes me sad as fuck, because those speakers were magical, and they sold out immediately after I reviewed them, and they've never come back. They were like world killers. They were like RB42s. These things here, these are world killers, but those were slightly bigger world killers. And they did this phasing thing that they just sounded amazing. And they threw enough low on, and they had a phase plug, and and they're gone. And this is why I love my job, but at the same point, it's like if I get like those are probably being made for 4 years, and I only got to them months before they were out. Just stopped being sold. If those were sold to this day, that would be my #1 pick for like, oh, just need some speakers? Boom, these. Just buy these for surround sound? Buy these. In fact, I'm going to be needing passive speakers for my basement for the rear channels of my surround sound because I'm moving my surround sound. Those would be fucking ideal. I mean, that'd be a waste to put... I find that everything that it's a good speaker, like an amazing speaker, is a waste as a rear channel because rear channels are just rear channels and they just do whatever. But those are like flat and thin and rounded and you can mount them. Oh my God, I kind of want to find a pair. If anyone has a pair, send them to me, please. Please send them to me. And then the Emma Watson of speakers, back when Emma Watson was the hottest girl in the world, which was 3 years ago, apparently. I feel like she's been a feminist longer than that. Has she? Remember when she used to do movie premieres? When we used to go premieres? Remember when premieres were a thing? No one's even premiering any movies anymore. And I love how the Oscars just went straight out of fucking hell. The C93s, Yamos. These are the first version, the Mark ones. They had like that what's the gorilla with the big fat head? The baboon? The baboon face? But I still thought they were beautiful and they were well made and they sounded just smooth as... That was probably the smoothest set of speakers I ever heard. And I sold them. I sold those, I think. I don't have those on my wall. I sold them. Something replaced them in my heart. I mean, I have the C103s literally set up in the basement right now. And those are those, but bigger. Do I recommend Yamos? Yes. Are the C93s still available? No. You know what is available? And linked in the description? The new version, the Concert 2s, are available. And those are fucking... They're more expensive. Those things were like $300. The new Concert 2s in that size would be like $500. But Yamaha, in case you don't know, is owned by Klipsch. So Klipsch has Klipsch and Klipsch sounds. And honestly, Yamaha is their fancier brand. It's Jamo, and it's not Jamo, it's Yamaha. It's like a Y. I don't know. English language is fucking stupid. What do you want from me? So, I mean, I guess I'm just saying, is Yamaha still good? Yes. Yamaha is even better now. I did those little tiny ones, and you know where they are? Pasta's desk. She's like, I love them. I need those to be in my face. And there you go. There they go. I remember these. Oh my God, I could talk about these for an hour, but I'm not going to. Sunfire CRM-2, or how to throw away $900. So these were... Sunfire makes subwoofers, like little tiny subwoofers. And like they make expensive, like $2,000 little tiny subwoofers, like little box cubes. And they are fucking known in the world as like one of the better subs you can buy. Because even though the box is only like 10 inches cubed and they have 2/8, it's got like 5,000 watts and they've made it so that the DSP correction, just, oh my God, it eludes sex out of the fucking way it shakes. Kind of like how the new SVS in my closet does. It does really well. But these were literally a speaker that had two little drivers on the side, little 3-inch drivers on the side, and then a fucking front furring ribbon. And I don't know what their purpose was, because they didn't make enough sound to be like a full speaker unless you like corner loaded them, like shove them in a corner for the speaker. But I don't know, they just didn't. They didn't do it for me. Or if I put how to throw away $900 in the title, it's like, ooh, I'm pretty pissed at how you've done business. What did I say? They felt like the top part of a speaker, I think. Like you'd need a full-on 8-inch driver below it that was not doing subwoofer bass, but like low, like mid bass to make that a complete speaker. So that was a sad thing, because I want to do Sunfire. Ooh, not really a sponsored video, but the company was like, hey, we'll send you a free Sous vide and some balls if you review it on your big channel. And this is before I decided to, this is before I had the clout to say, look, how about I just unbox it and that's it. So they do that now. I don't do like $60 Wasserstein cookers anymore. If I get something, I got a $1,000 Bluetooth speaker, I'm like, I'll take that and review that because that's at least sound related. But even 3 years ago, it only has 25,000 views. Even the ones of bad items get like twice as many, 35,000, 91,000. No one wants to see me review a fucking sous vide cooker. Although I did this in my cousin's kitchen in New York. If you want to look at my cousin's kitchen, it was the nicest kitchen of all our kitchens until I bought my house. And now my kitchen is the nicest kitchen. I have the kitchen. I'm the main kitchen man. Anyway, yeah, buy a sous vide if you haven't. They're super cheap, and they really can change the way you cook things. I would say ribs, but unfortunately I figured out that pressure cooker Instant Pot ribs are literally better than 20-hour sous vide ribs. And they get done in like 45 minutes. It's wild. I'm making some tomorrow night. Emotiva AMP100 Bass X. Nah, it sucks. Are you fucking kidding me? 135,000 views for a reason. That thing with the page 11 mod, which is when you take the top off, you unscrew it, take the top off, you either install or remove jumpers. I forget which one it is. Might be, is it install or remove? I don't remember if it's install or remove. It might be install or remove. And then it takes the front headphone jack, which is normally like an okay headphone jack, and turns it into a 50 watt per channel at 8 ohms headphone jack. And the noise floor is rather high. Like you can't plug a sensitive set of headphones into it. But anything 300 ohms or higher, or anything from the Fostex T50RP family, that's the amp. To this moment, that's the amp. And I've reviewed some heavy-duty headphone amplifiers. That's still the amp. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about that amp being a speaker amp that just happens to power headphones. I actually did power speakers with it recently. First time in forever. because I had to check the rear channels of my surround sound, and that's what I proved that the SMSL amps just don't work with the mini DSP down there. I was doing some weird decoding shit and causing the amps to break. But yeah, that one works fine. Oh, it's so good. I did have to add one of my biggest problems with it is it doesn't have any indicator on the knob. Like, I complain about some indicators not being bright enough or not being like, I can't see it. That had none. It's just a smooth black knob. And it's not as digital like you're going to turn it forever. It literally is off or is maximum. And you can't tell that visually. And that's not an oversight. That's a design flaw. And I'd take you to court if my speakers blew up, Emotiva. Show me where the fuck, if I have a little cousin come over, daddy stubs, and he turns it from like 1.5 where you listen to your speakers to 15, and then you turn on your music thinking it's still at 1.5 and it blows up. It's your fault, Emotiva. Because there's literally no way to see. God, I'm still angry about that. But I put I have a little label maker. And when you make the labels, they come out like with extras on the ends. So I chop off the extra, and then I chop that into like a little arrow, and then sticks it on the thing. That's perfect. HiFiMan HE6, meh. I didn't love them that much. Like, everyone was just hyping up the HE6. Oh my God, Zios, you got to do the HiFiMan HE6. They need so much power, which 8 watts per channel. I'm sorry, yeah. 8 watts per channel at 50 ohms. So that's probably getting what those were getting. Meh. Meh. I don't remember anything about them. After hearing them, after testing on all the amplifiers I had no incentive to want to care about them. And that continues from 3 years ago to this day. I don't care about the HE6. They were never that headphone. Maybe with like a class A, like 10 watt per channel shoved into it, maybe, but I don't think so. If you have HE6s and you love them, tell me what they compared to. I've heard everything else, and I like other expensive things or rare things or hard to drive things, but not those. Moving on. Pretty much my highest viewed video. We're at 897,000 views. And I don't know why. Maybe it's the composition of as a YouTuber, here's what happens. I'll give you a little bit of insight. You look at your videos and you look at the ones that are popular, and you look at the ones that still get views, even though they're 3 years old. And you go, okay, was it the fact that I put murder in the title? Because it's the SVS PB16 Ultra, 174.5 pounds of structural murder. Maybe the murder did it. Maybe it's the composition of the thumbnail, because it's not quite centered, it's slightly off-centered. There's interesting things that no one knows what it is on the left, because this has got to be seen by more people than are on my channel. This is seen by 4 times as many people that are on my channel. So normies are seeing it. And you know what? It's not even my best subwoofer review. Not even close. Like, I didn't even mix the audio in from the GoPro. I just did the ones from the actual microphones. And it's 37.5 minutes long, so it's not like the length attracted them there. But it still gets tons of views. I don't know why. Because, I mean, I've done my rhythmic subwoofer. That is still the biggest, baddest subwoofer. But I would probably take the cylindrical ones if I was offered them over that. Get a pair of those, and I still use my rhythmic to this moment. I am getting a massive rhythmic sub at some point, which I have to email them again, which is like $2,500 and dual 15s on either side, and it's a sealed box, and I'm getting it in white because I'm like, no, I want the wife acceptance factor to be 100. Well, 99. So give me like a $2,500, 170 pound. It might be, is it more weight than that? I don't know. At least I don't have to bring it up the stairs. I had to bring that one up the stairs, and this one I won't have to bring upstairs. I'll bring it downstairs, and then it'll never leave again. So yeah, do I still recommend the SVS PB16 Ultra? Yes. It's silly. Don't even question it. There are other subs, and I've done better reviews than that, but that seems to be the one that gets people. The Woo Audio GES and the Human Staxipede. Oh, that's a title. I was not super impressed by the Woo Audio GES. The second STAX product from Woo Audio that I was like, because it was a tube amp and it was expensive as shit, and I hooked up my shit to it, and I was like, all right, this is all right. But I felt like if I had a good solid state STAX energizer and I just fed it from a tube preamp, even from like a dark voice, I was getting similar results. So why? And I don't remember what else is here. I had the little STAX Energizer, which is no longer sold, which is stupid on their part because it was the cheapest and most affordable one that can get people into the game. But yeah, no, I don't know. It's Human STAX HP. Go watch that and I'm going to tell you anything about that. So, wow, I actually didn't do a separate review of the L700. I combined it with the L500. So L500 and L700, the end game finally. And you know what? I could have easily quit reviewing headphones and I'd be happy. I'd be happy with my L700s. I would have just, this is it. This is the best it's ever going to get. Then the L300 Limiteds come out, and that's wide soundstage L700s, and it's like, fuck, why didn't I buy a set of those? But then I wouldn't have experienced things like the Grado Hems and the Tim Socks. I could probably have skipped. I'm gonna figure out if I love you or not one day. But yeah, no, it's a fun game, this audiophile game, and if you say end game, it's a fucking lie, because there's always something. It's a curiosity thing. Like, you would have to be a strong-willed individual to be like, honestly, Grado Hems, I call endgame. KPH 30i clears with the pad mod could be endgame. This is it. Buy 12 of them, keep them in your closet, make sure they're in a perfectly humidity controlled environment with the pads, and that's it. You don't need any better than that for like 99.9% of usage cases. But do I still love the L700? Yes. I wouldn't get L300s. I wouldn't get L500s. Just save up for the L700s because they're so sterile, and like they're still, again, like they're Formula One cars, and you're comparing 3 Formula One cars. It's just that the L700 is legitimately 10% faster than the other ones. So why bother with anything else? Just save your money and get the L700s. Or if you can find it, L300 Limiteds, which were a limited edition, and I should have bought them. Sound demo. Ooh, you heard that, right? What is that sound? Something keeps banging a piece of sheet metal outside my window. Well, it's just birds constantly like hitting it. I'll tell you. Emotiva Stealth 8. Absolutely correct. So this was a local in Philly. Let me borrow these. I drove down to his house, or he drove up with them, and then I drove him back. Emotiva Airmotive 5s and Airmotive 6s were, and still are. The 5s I sold. I still own the 6s, and I kind of want to set up the 6s. They're a big AMT motherfucking monster, self-powered with like 220 watts a piece. And I thought the 8s would be the ultimate revision of the murder me with sound and make me love it speaker, and it wasn't. I was a little bit taken aback because the Stealth 8s were not an Airmotive. They were the actual serious business series. And they were so flat, I was like, oh. Good detail, good imaging. Okay. Would I party with them? Not really. I thought they needed they missed the sparkle that makes it enjoyable for me to listen to music versus the absolute fucking sterile cleanliness of like a razor blade cutting through all music. That's what those had. Could you turn them up and dance? Absolutely. Do what I want to? No. Would I recommend them? Absolutely. If you are fucking doing mixing and mastering, no reason not to buy those. Now Emotiva's sort of gotten away from the self-powered monitors, and they're just focusing on their like passive line. And I like their passive line, but having the amps built in and having the bigger tweeters and having it DSP tuned was more their forte. Oh, the Baby Balance Sap9. I remember this. This was the world's first little baby balance. In fact, I think it was only balanced. This was an only balanced headphone amplifier. SMSL, you plugged it in 5 volt. I remember it was a 5 volt transformer, so I could plug it into a battery pack for some reason. And you had full XLRs in the back, XLR 4-pin on the front that was sideways, and then a 1/4 inch and a volume knob. And it was like, wow, this is a thing. Would I recommend that anymore? No. But it was a thing. This is like post Jotunheim. Once the Jotunheim was a thing and you could actually use balanced headphones, things started trickling in, and they started trickling in. You had the Aoun, you had this, and eventually now everything's balanced. It's topping A30 Pro. That fucking thing is up here, permanently affixed to my HP3s on top of a giant Matrix DAC amp, which I haven't used the amp portion of the DAC amp, just a DAC. Why? Because I trust it to be good, because Matrix makes damn good stuff. I did this. I'm going to do this in the audio guide, and then I'm going to be done. I did this as an experiment for people who are like, oh, Burn-In doesn't do anything. So I set up the Sony Z1Rs. Someone sent me a brand new set of Sony Z1Rs. Never touched. And I set them up on my recording rig. And I had the microphone set up. And I hit... I think I had them on my head for 10 seconds before I started the recording, because I wanted to get the volume right before I put it on the unit. And then I put on the unit and adjusted it, and then played, what did I play? 1,000 kilohertz test tone, and then pink noise. And I let it go for like, I think 75 hours. Not moving off the recording rig. The recording rig, I turned off the recording, but then I started up again, I think at 30 hours, and then at 70 hours, or maybe at 15 there. And I then offered the 4 wave files, I think, in the description. I could do that again. I have better microphones now. I could just set up my sound recording rig, put a pair of headphones on it, very first noise it makes, record, then wait 40 hours, record, then wait 80 hours, record, then record, and then just give it to the public and let them do all their fancy fucking tests with it. But I mean, I heard a difference, and I think they hear a difference in the recordings. That's why I just have a burning rig in the basement, just burning it in. In fact, I got to take the tin T5s downstairs to do that. All right, we'll continue on the Sonys, but we're going to end on the Audio God 1 amp, which was Serial's. Hi, Serial. There's his waifu Rem. That was his thumbnail. I forgot to thumbnail it. He had to send me the thumbnail. That's his thumbnail. And it says HH420 on it. I would have gone with a 69, but whatever. This was a top-tier hi-fi head amp. And you know what's funny? Recently, DMS was like, hey, someone sent me this instead of this. He was supposed to get an R2R Audio God amp, and he got an older, like, standard NFB11 or NSB whatever. And he says, a week later, it's like, he was upset by that. And then a week later, he's like, you know what? Everything sounds good on this. And I have the R2R 11 in the basement on a shelf. I don't hook it up. I don't even think about Audio God anymore. Audio God was the audio gods. What's happening? A shipment will arrive today. No shit. Shipment arrives every day. Audio God is Chinese beyond Chinese. Like, they literally, their website is like, okay, no. You pay us through a fucking, like, weird PayPal thing. And then, I mean, it might be changed now. But it was like super sketch, but they always delivered. And they had a set of Class A, like, speaker amps that are like $10,000, and I kind of wanted them because they were built mirrored so that they would sit. Oh god, they were the most complicated innards I've ever seen in a device. Like, I talk about the Questyle, and I open those up, and you could see inside. I've opened up the Singzer. I've opened up the head amp, GSX Mini, and you look in there, and it's like, oh my god, so pretty. Audio God, and I don't know if it's better or worse, would literally line the entire thing with multiple boards of just electronics, doing whatever they wanted to do, whatever crazy audiophile shit they thought it was doing. And that head amp, that 1 amp, is probably to this day still hold up against a lot of the other competition. This is before the age where I understood that there are linear amplifiers and just warm, soft Class A amplifiers. And I would love to put that somewhere on the scale, but I can't. It was probably leaning maybe towards the warm end. I don't know. I haven't had it in 3 years. And the R2R, I'm going to pull the R2R out and use it at some point. I'm going to have to link it. Oh my God, I'm going to have to fucking figure out how to link Audio God products. But anyway, that's it for episode 18. We're now old enough to enslave our cat girls. So down that wallpaper in the description below, links to all the products below this video that are still relevant or their relevant counterparts, and a list of everything that's gone on. I'm live streaming today, and it's going to be like 80 something degrees, and I'm not putting the air conditioner on because the duct cleaner is coming tomorrow. So I don't want to turn on the air conditioner until the ducts are clean. So I'm going to suffer the whole day. It's going to be great. Patreon and Subscribestar to see regular reviews early, not these. But you can comment on the videos. You can buy things before they go out of stock. You could talk about it with your friends. Just don't share the link because you're paying for it. You're paying to see it. They're not paying to see it unless you collect money from them and then, put it in the little swear jar for me because I say fuck a lot. Then it'll be fine. But Patreon, Subscribestar, see reviews early. Participate in the yard sales. I should mention when anything I've reviewed has been in the yard sale. That would take forever. I've sold so much stuff. I sold enough to pay like the first half of this fucking house off. Like just sell it all. Fucking sell it. I'm not going to be my father where he keeps everything. I'm going to just sell shit that I don't think I need. Maybe I need this. Nope, sell it. Yeah, wallpapers, yard sale. The $10 Patreon chat, which hasn't rang my phone the entire time we're here, which is pretty interesting, is available on Patreon or Subscribestar. Ask me any questions you'd like there. I check YouTube comments, and sometimes on Twitch I'll be nice and answer questions, but if you try to message me as a patron or Subscribestar subscriber in the $5 tier, I can't get to them all. I literally can't. And I feel I can't just skip 90% of them and answer 10. That's not fair. So I'm just going to answer none of them on Reddit, none of them on emails, because people still email me, even though the email attached to this fucking thing is not for questions. Just $10 tier, you get in there, you're in the Telegram chat, you add Zios Montero, I'll answer your question. 200 other people answer your question. We'll all answer your question. It's crowdsourcing help for all of you. So if you want to be in that chat and away from public Discord and public Z reviews on Telegram, there you go. What else? Hi-Fi guides in the forums? I should make a post on the forum with all of these in it. I don't think it needs to be like its own section, but it'd be nice if people could comment in a forum-like structure. And yeah, there is a playlist for this whole thing. If you want to catch up from moment 1 of Z Review, that was episode 1. And we're going to get to the point where I start doing daily videos. We're not there yet. Once we hit that, I'm probably going to crash Chrome, because I use Firefox in my day-to-day, but Chrome is the only one that can handle like fucking scrolling infinitely, because I have to, there's no other way to display these like this other than load the first video and scroll until the scroll bar is that big. Anyway, I'm done talking. You done talking? I'm done talking. I'll see you tomorrow for a regular review.